You wake up hungry, and that is not an accident. Someone decided exactly how hungry you should be and wrote it down. Your body is worth more than the house most Romans live in. Welcome to one day as a Roman gladiator. Not a slave being used up, an asset being maintained. Let's open the books on you. Forget the film. Most of what you think you know is a painting from the 1800s. Plenty of gladiators were slaves, but a great many were volunteers who signed a contract. They sold their bodies for a fixed number of years, on paper, for money and fame. Because a trained fighter was expensive. So expensive, the Senate eventually had to cap the prices. You cost a fortune to buy, to feed, to train, and to repair. Which means the man who owns you has one very clear financial opinion about your death. Not yet. Morning, and the first surprise of the day is sitting on your plate. Barley, beans, porridge. Almost every single day, for years. The Romans had a nickname for you because of it. Hordearii, the barley men. It sounds like an insult, and it isn't. It's a specification. In the 1990s, archaeologists excavated a gladiator cemetery at Ephesus. They ran chemical analysis on the bones of dozens of them. The results matched the ancient texts almost exactly. A diet dominated by grain and plants with very little meat, no steak, no protein loading. The precise opposite of what a modern fighter eats. So why feed a professional killer like a farmhand? Because a high-carbohydrate diet builds a layer of fat directly under the skin, and to a Roman trainer, that layer is not a flaw, it is equipment. A shallow cut through that fat bleeds spectacularly and stops there. The crowd sees blood. The blade never reaches muscle, nerve, or artery. You are being fattened to survive being cut in public. And the same graves showed something else. Unusually high calcium in the bones. Roman writers mention a drink made from plant ash. Ash is calcium. Calcium is bone. Bone is what breaks in this job. 2,000 years before sports science had a name, someone was already running it on you. Your trainer is not being kind. He is protecting stock. Midday. Training has already cost you skin. And this is where being expensive starts working in your favor. You are seen by a doctor. A real one. A famous one. Around the year 157, a young physician took a job at a gladiator school in Pergamon. His name was Galen. He described the wounds he treated as windows into the body, because Roman law would not allow him to dissect a human being. But a torn gladiator on a table is an anatomy lesson that walks in by itself. Galen learned muscle, tendon, and blood vessel from men who were still breathing, and he was good at it. He claimed that under the doctor before him, 16 fighters died in a single year. Under him, too. Whether or not he exaggerated, the bones agree with the direction. The gladiator skeletons are full of serious injuries that healed cleanly. Set fractures, closed wounds, bodies that were repaired and sent back out. What Galen worked out in that training yard became the foundation of Western medicine. European doctors were still quoting him 1,000 years later. Your torn arm is, without either of you knowing it, a page in a future textbook, and now the number that almost everyone gets wrong, your actual chance of dying out there. Afternoon, the sand. Start with the detail that surprises people most. These fights had referees. A man called the Summa Rudis stood in the arena with a long wooden staff. He stopped fights. He enforced rules. He separated men who broke them. This was not a brawl. It was regulated combat with an official on the floor. Because a dead gladiator is a destroyed investment, and everyone in that building knew it. Tickets sold because the crowd knew the fighters by name, and dead men have no next month. So most bouts ended in one of two letters, and both of them are carved on Roman tombstones. V for won, M for misses. Sent away alive, spared because you fought well. Reading those inscriptions, historians estimate that in the organized games of the early empire, somewhere between 1 in 5 and 1 in 10 bouts ended in a death. Not every fight, not even most fights, which brings us to the most famous gesture in Roman history. You have seen the emperor's thumb turned down, and the loser finished on the sand. That image comes from a French painting made in 1872. Historians still argue about what the real signal even was. What we do know is who decided, whoever was paying for the games. And that person was looking at a crowd, a reputation, and a bill. Sparing a skilled loser was not mercy, it was inventory management. Fight well enough, for long enough, and something else becomes possible. A plain wooden sword, handed over in front of everyone. The Rudis, your discharge. Some men who earned it chose to come back and fight anyway. In Pompeii, people scratched fighters' names into the walls like modern fans. So here is the honest accounting of one day as a gladiator. A diet engineered to armor you from the inside. A doctor building the foundation of medicine on your injuries. A referee with a staff. An owner who needs you alive more than he wants you dead. And odds that were genuinely better than the movies have ever told you. It was still brutal. Many still died young, and many never earned their discharge. But it was a dangerous profession, not a scheduled execution. Could you have lasted a single season? Most people would not survive the training. Subscribe. There's a new life waiting for you every episode.